not really good at mic, so apologies in advance. Everyone, welcome, welcome, welcome. You're finally here. Welcome to the first Females Founders Lounge here in Lagos. Let's give it a hand, please. Woo! We're only an hour late, so we apologize. But I'm your host, Aminat. I'm your moderator / bootleg co-host. So I will be media assistant. But we're here overall to lounge, to learn, and to network with these amazing, exceptional women. So please feel free. If there's anything that you need or you're missing, please let us know. So why are we here today? Why events like this important? I'm going to start with some facts, if I may. We know as Black women overall that we're very enterprising. Like over 42% of businesses, or new businesses that are started every year, are by Black women. Yet, how much of our of the funding are we getting? How many founders do we have here, by the way? Founders. Anybody has a business? Anybody has a business, a side business, a hustle? But how much funding are we getting? 1% of all VC, so venture capital funding, is going to Black women, and we represent more than 42% of the businesses. Can we ask, another question. Before let's say 2021, how many Black women have had more than $1 million in funding? Any number, ballpark, anybody? Less than 100. And before that, 2018, how many do we think there were? 34. So it is very sad, the state of things, which is why it's very important for us to have these types of gatherings. And so we have Female Techpreneur, which is headed by Buki Babajide. She's going to be joining us. She's a Female Techpreneur founder and CEO. Is Buki in the house? Okay, so I'm going to introduce her, if I may. So we're going to have Buki come and give us the reasoning behind this vision. Buki is an IT and business transformation consultant. She has worked on various projects, namely HR implementation, fintech, logistics, and more for over 10 years, so for over a decade. She is the director of Crystal Options, a tech company that specializes in development of enterprise software and training and recruitment of IT professionals. Buki is a seasoned professional with a vision to transform the tech space with the experience gathered and her business analysis expertise. She has a great team of volunteers and professionals working with her to make this initiative a success, which is why we're all here today. She's going to outline the vision of the outcome of building this community of you all exceptional women, which we're so thankful to have with here. Thank you for hanging out with us. So with that, I'm going to pass it on to Buki. Please let's give a warm welcome to Buki Babajide. Hi, Buki. Where are you at? She was just here, I promise. Okay, so while we wait. Yeah. Okay. So this is a live show. So while we wait, who's in fintech? Who came here to look for community? I came. Okay, yes, I came. So I'm a Black woman as well in tech. I came here, volunteer because I wanted to meet people like you. So who's in fintech? Like, what do you want to get from today, if I may? So who's in fintech? Who's in logistics? Like, what kind of areas are exciting for us? What would you like to learn about?
Hello. Hi, Hi everyone, my name is Toby. So I'm in event tech, not very popular, but yeah, I'm in event tech and I'm here to learn. So I'm still early stage. We started business and everything, but we kind of have issues with hiring. I want to see how other people, not necessarily the speakers, but anyone have skills that I think hiring is key, and we're about to like go all out and go strong, and we kind of just want to figure out and make sure that we hire right, and that developer issue as well. We just want to make sure that we have the strongest people on our team, even though we're small, but we just want to have the strongest people on our team.
Thank you. That's very great. So anybody, can I pass the mic to anybody else? You want to share with us why you're here? Is Bernice around? Where's Bernice? So shout her out. Okay, Bernice, okay, I have you. So what would you like to learn from today's event, please?
Oh, hi everybody. Okay, so to be honest, I just want to meet people. I'm a lawyer and usually we always work in isolation really. So I'm just out here to meet people with, the same vision really.
Oh, awesome, thank you. So any other lawyers in the room? Bernice is very lovely. She gives good hugs if you want to meet her. Okay, anybody else? I know that at least personally, so I work in corporate America, and I'm looking for, that hustle spirit, like how do you get out on your own as an entrepreneur? So that's one thing I would love to know. So if you all come, anybody can come up to me and give me advice. Do you have another taker in the room? Hey, okay. Well, please tell us your name.
Hi everyone, my name is Dorothy Phillips. I own a gym and a fitness center, and basically I'm here to find out how I can get all we do in the tech space. So virtual classes, virtual payments, virtual everything, and potentially funding as well.
Awesome.
And
So,
meeting other women in
Oh.
business in Lagos.
thank you. So if anybody would like to sponsor, we're going to go. No, we have a lot of fitness fanatics here, so we're definitely in good company. So we have fitness, we have the event tech, we talk about legal. Nobody's talking about food. I know we do food very well here. No? Okay. Oh, here! Oh, yes, please, my darling. What would you like to get from today's event, please?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ijoma.
You can see your beautiful face, sorry.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ijoma Tomofodia. I'm a journalist and an editor the editor of Guardian Woman. I'm here today to connect with women of like minds who are blazing the trail in their different fields and making positive impact.
Awesome. She's going to put us in the newspaper, so if you guys want to come, you better come be nice to her. Okay, anybody else? Oh, please, madam. I would love to learn. She's been here since the beginning, so we're so thankful. Oh, thanks. This one is going to help us.
Hi everyone, my name is Ibe Olufemi. I'm in the financial services space, specifically InsurTech, which is not an area that a lot of people are aware of. Most people that know about insurance feel that it is quite a traditional, conservative industry, which it is, but it needs to change. It can still be conservative, it can still be reserved, but technology is going to be a big part of that. And so the stuff that we're doing is trying to address that. Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome. So when you see disruptive boss ladies, I can feel it all around. So please, we'd love to learn more. Do we have Bookie anytime? So yes. So please give a hand to Bookie Babajide, the brain behind today.
Okay. Thank you. Hi, everybody. I think I've met some of you today already, but for some that don't know me, I'm Buki Babajide. I'm very excited to be here. I'm the founder of Female Techpreneur, the platform that brought us together this afternoon, last evening. I just have a question, right? Randomly, what made you come to this event? Is open to anyone that would like to speak. Any volunteers before I meet someone?
I think we have somebody in a shirt.
My eyes locked onto her. Sorry, I'm coming to you. Please introduce yourself, what you do, and what made you do this event.
You know, I just introduced myself.
I missed that, sorry.
Okay, my name is Bigbe Olufemi. What made me come to this event? I actually saw it on one of my forums, and I thought interesting particularly because we are currently looking at blockchain as one of the tech platforms that we're looking to use. And I've had quite a number of questions in terms of how will blockchain work in Nigeria, given that there are possibilities, for example, that external systems or data that you connect to may A, not be accurate, may not be functional. So how do you run a blockchain on real time so that it actually is a seamless experience for the client, but also reduces the overheads for the company? So when I saw this, I thought, okay, fine, it'll be interesting to see what other people are doing and use that as a takeaway. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I think you will definitely get an answer to that, because one of our speakers is an expert in blockchain. So we've got one more question to add to our list. You wanted to share?
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ngozi Onyekolo, the CEO of Ibigo Smart Cards. The reason why I came today was because it's actually my first time seeing a women in tech gathering. And that's why I came to connect to this work, to learn more.
Thank you, Ngozi. You kind of nailed it, right? Probably is happening and we don't know of it. A lot of things happen in silos that we may not have come in contact with. But the whole essence of this meeting is to bring everyone that is in tech, especially female. We've been underrepresented, and I'm based in the UK, but Sogo, Nigeria, and this underrepresentation cuts across gender and race as well. So imagine if you're in a white-dominated environment and you now happen to be a female. It's double whammy. So you have to do a lot. You have to be exceptionally good to, matter. So we're looking at gender and race, and then layering in technology. There are skill deficits globally. There's not enough people. But some set of people feel like it's not for them because orientation, the way it's been branded, and we need to change the narrative. And if you look at the founder statistics, women entrepreneurs are actually more successful. If you give a woman a startup to run, the statistics is bad. They turn it around, there's a high return on investment. So coming out to join us, and hopefully before the night runs out, I'll be able to connect with some, if not all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you both of you for sharing your journey. This is awesome. So before we go to the next stage, I'm just going to do a quick vibe check. How are you? Okay, so On the tables, please take note, there are barcodes with WhatsApp. I think it's an invite, a request to join the Female Techpreneur WhatsApp group. So in addition to, of course, LinkedIn and Instagram, where we're streaming live somewhere, please just, feel free to scan the code and do that to join. Also, we have Wi-Fi. It's free, which is unusual in Nigeria. So I think the username is Harold Place, and the password is Harold with capital H, 2023 @, just the @. Okay. So if anything is going wrong, feel free to raise your hands. Don't be shy. We're here for you. Okay. So we're supposed to do some polling. Okay. Well, let's move on. I know we're taking enough of your time. So we're going to go to the next part, which is the first panel, which is actually a moderating. Yeah. So I'm going to have our first panel here with our guest, Buki Oginsakin. I hope I said it right. Ogunshakin, hey, Mahalo. My bad. Ogunshakin, I know that's like a guy. Sorry. Okay, who is the founder of BBO Solicitors? Excuse me. So Buki is the principal and head Satoshi or thinker at BPO Solicitors. She's an emerging tech lawyer, primarily working with clients in emerging technology areas such as NFT, metaverse, anything Facebook, right? Crypto, blockchain, we've heard that, artificial intelligence, as well as cybersecurity and data privacy. Buki is highly sought after by clients due to her 20-year experience in strategy and project management. She is also currently a Web3 legal consultant with Interstellar Incorporated and volunteers as Director of Strategy at E4E. Buki holds a bachelor's degree in law from OAU, so Obafemi Awolowo University. I was hoping for that. Great. You saved the day. Okay. And an MSc in Project Management from St. Mary's University of Minnesota, SMU. She also holds an NFT Talent Certificate from the Frankfurt School of Finance and Management. She is a Smart Contract Research Fellow and a Claris Decentralized Justice Fellow. See, Madame, All right, so Buki is also a certified NFT expert, like it's there, from the Blockchain Council and a certified international privacy professional in Europe, so CIPP-E or /E. She's a member of the Nigerian.
Thank you so much.
Sorry.
Awesome to be here.
Oh, we're so excited to have you. Thank you for leaving your 50 million children to be with us today. Okay, so we're just going to have a great conversation. I've been reading a lot about you and your work, and we're very excited to see if there's anything that we can talk about. So we have some questions, but please feel free in the audience if you have your own questions, and that's why you're here. Jump in, raise your hand. Definitely happy to give you the floor. So we're going to be talking about tech and legal frameworks for I think about 15 to 20 minutes. I guess it's also some of your interaction as well. So let me start with the first question. I think I already sent you some of my questions, but yes. So the first question that I have, and by the way, please feel free to tell us, just a little bit about yourself, at least in terms of, so are you based in Lagos?
Yes, I am based in Lagos. Maybe a bit of history.
Please.
I actually was an event planner previously. And then after about how many years? About a decade, I decided to start up my law firm. So that's just to say you can always change careers. It's never too late to do what you want to do. many people told me I was bonkers for trying to, do that. So I just want to encourage anyone here who is trying to get into something new, that it's doable. And I feel like I've been here all my life, that's
Right.
what I was meant to do. So that's just a plus before we start.
Okay, no, thank you, because that's going to be one of my questions. I'm like, you've been going all around the world, carrying degrees, collecting it. So we would love to learn that. So if, this is your sign, if you want to change your career, do something, we're here for you. So as part of your client and volunteer work, which types of challenges or struggles do we see women founders, Black women founders, okay, typically facing at different phases, right? Be it in the beginning phase, when they're trying to scale, or when they're mature, right, and trying to continue to reinvent themselves. Like, what type of challenges do you see?
I think first would be funding, I think, because it's easier for men to get funding than it is for women. But I think also on the flip side, there are actually a lot of organizations that are pushing, funding for women, programs for women, awareness for women. So we have to give them, the accolades for that. They're actually doing that. Apart from funding, I think the drive as well. We always hear about imposter syndrome for women. We feel like we're not worth it, or keep comparing ourselves to male counterparts in the particular role.
Hello.
Not as confident as the men to ask for what we deserve, or what we, at least, at that stage, or whatever stage it is that we're at. I think that's also something to consider. And then for women as well, because I'm in Web3, I think a lot of women restrict themselves as well at the beginning. Now we're talking of startup stage, because of other things that women are bogged down with, children, family, taking care of our parents. It's not like the men don't have that obligation as well, but we understand that for a woman, it's quite different, getting kids ready for school in the morning. So we have a lot of pushback when it comes to women going into Web3,
Right.
especially the tech area. But then, again, like I said, we have some women, like Web3 ladies, who are, pushing that boundary and encouraging women, creating programs, awareness, and trying to encourage women to come out, and join that drive. And then I think for middle stages, I think I would encourage women to be more technical, if I can use that word. So get people who are professionals as opposed to people who you think might suit the role. I think maybe for women we can be more emotional about such decisions, whereas men just, they just go right to it. This person is the right person for the job. This is his pay for the job, and I'm going to, go right ahead and do that. But for women, we might sometimes dilly-dally or sway based on that emotional approach. But then, then for middle stages and for women who are doing a lot, I think focus needs to be on maybe planning exit strategies with the organization, succession planning. Women, we don't do enough succession planning. We mostly are, concerned with other things. And those are things that when investors are coming in, you need to start having those conversations. You need to have legal on board. You need to have a financial advisor. You need to have these professionals who come in and help and guide you with the business, so you don't make certain errors. I know I was encouraged lately when I saw, I think it's Courtney Adeleye for Main Choice. I think she exited and sold, I think, the whole company. And that was really surprising because we don't see enough women do that. So at least on an international or global stage, that was really, really great. So I think many of that, we should have more women selling more organizations for billions or millions of dollars.
Amen.
And moving on to something else. We see more of men doing that as opposed to women. So that's just some. We can't go into every single aspect because of the time. But that's just some basics for us to think about.
No, thank you. And I think, you highlighted very important things like our challenges. Like, okay, you said there's imposter syndrome, there is this emotional attachment. How can we use these challenges as our superpowers, right? So those are the things that we can continue to think about. So yeah, so be ruthless. No, I'm just kidding. No. So you mentioned also, you talked about Web3, you've worked in NFT or crypto, blockchain. We've seen a lot of volatility in this tech space, right? Everybody's running from layoffs, okay? And also we've seen like with what happened with NFT. So how would you say that has affected the landscape of Black women founders abroad and also in Africa? And what is your advice for not just withstanding the volatility, but thriving in its face?
I think for women in Web3, particularly or tech, they're not really encouraged to come into the space because of the lack of women. And then now having maybe something like the crypto winter, add to it. You find that there will be women and you're talking to them about blockchain and they're like, no, blockchain is 419, it's fraud, all these kind of things, And they are still trying to convince them to come into the space and they hear of something like an FTX or a Luna and they're like, no, that just confirms it for me that this space is for fraudsters, but no, it isn't like that. So those are some of the challenges. Something bad happens,
Right.
and then the media frenzy, it spreads fear, definitely. It spreads doubt and a lot of uncertainty.
Right.
And then maybe like with the NFTs, I know NFTs were really popular for women in fashion. I know it was popular for Black women in fashion that wanted to launch their NFT collections and things like that. And then we see that part of the industry to kind of nosedive. But I would say that such times, at least those of us in the crypto space were awaiting the crypto winter.
Okay.
We knew it was something that was going to happen based off of Web 1. Because when Web 1 came, there was the boom and there was the bust. So we anticipated that the same thing, it will be pretty tough, okay? But when you're in the Web 3 or tech space and you haven't built the proper processes, there's no corporate governance, there's no legal structure, there's no financial professional or consultant that is working with you on it, it's likely to fail at some point in time. So I'll just say we look at the bad times and then use that or the lessons learned from other organizations to build properly and more appropriately. So that's what I would generally recommend for those that are coming into the tech space generally.
Right. No, thank you. That's perfect. So do you offer this foundation starter pack?
Yes, of course, that's what we do. I mean, I work with a lot of Web3 organizations, startups at any stage. So, and what I love about Web3 is you're not restricted to Nigeria alone. That's what I love the most because it's a global stage. The world is now globalized. You can be in Lagos and working in Turkey. Okay, you can get a client tomorrow from Malta finding out, how can I do this, how can I do that. So the world really is an oyster now. You can do anything, anywhere that you want. As far as you're leveraging technology, you can blow your business up with wider audience and more opportunity.
So there are two things I got from your answer. Thank you. One of it was you need to know your stuff, right? You need to learn that anticipating the bust of Web3 because of Web1, like you need to study the area. And the second thing is, you kind of hold, don't let things just shake you. Because I'm assuming like the bust is a good time for people to short, right? Like they can use that. So I think education and learning is important. And that brings me to your many degrees. So how do you hone your craft? Because of course the theme for today, one of the themes, FYI people, is about growth and learning and so on. What helps you grow in your craft? How do you know what to do next or which program to pursue? You're gonna go to Malta tomorrow. And how do you stay current with how things continue to change so much?
that one is tough because I have to be honest, it's not easy to keep up, but you have to continuously learn. And for me, I think I particularly am doing very well in this space because I open up myself to learning from anyone. I find, at least those of my age, find it more difficult to work with Gen Zs or millennials. I don't find it difficult. So that's an advantage for me because I open up myself to learn from them. I mean, of course, there are downsides, there are pros and cons, but we take the pros, right? And then work with that. Exactly. So you have to open up yourself to learn. I think many of us need to unlearn some of the things we've learned previously. And I find that a lot of businesses are stuck in the traditional ways. They don't want to move from where they are. And I always use the example of if you had told the taxi drivers in Lagos that Uber will come and disrupt their business, they will tell you you're crazy. Okay? But what has happened?
Of course.
What has happened? They've come to disrupt the space, but because they were not willing to unlearn their process and embrace, you have to be dynamic. You have to learn new methods, new things. And for me, learning in my space takes a lot of hours because things are moving in Web3 at the speed of, is it light? What's faster than light?
It's more than light.
It's more than light because it's moving so fast.
Wow.
You know one thing this week, 2 weeks is old news. So it's a lot of data consumption, just like the same way we are absorbing a lot of data via digital media and all of that. You have to, if you want to hone your craft in this new moving field, you do have to put in the hours. So I do have to put in the number of hours, reading, learning, meeting new people, being part of experimental processes, research. I even started my process with research because that's where I did the Smart Contracts Research Forum, and then I also did the Kleros Decentralized Protocol. So it's a lot of reading, learning, connecting, collaborating. You have to put yourself in that space. And of course, like I said, being open to learning new things. And then, of course, you'll be able to thrive once you do that in tech. People hear the worst ideas, but because they're open, they end up being the ones to be game changers. Okay, so if you want to be a game changer going forward, you just need to put yourself in that space of learning or unlearning.
Learning and unlearning. So you heard it here. There's no magic pill or bullet. You have to do your homework. But what is the time? And what percentage is for learning? Is it 10% of your week or your day?
Okay, so that one.
Strategies.
That one is the one I need to work on because I don't really sleep that much. I have to confess. But I also understand that your well-being is very important and being healthy. But I would say that at the beginning, I had to put in those hours and probably sleep like 4 hours a day. Now that I'm, at a stage that I'm the one now teaching people, I can now, even though it's not still enough, I mean, maybe like 5 hours, but I could get like 2 hours of sleep, when I can get it. But it's just what it is. You just have to put in those hours. I've heard successful people talk about the amount of hours they put in every week. And I'm not sure there's a solution yet for that, but you just make sure that you do take some time off when you can. Right. And then you do have moments where you're able to meditate and all that. The other part of the work-life balance, I would say delegate as much as you can. Have a support system that works for you. And put in some other things, You have to, sometimes you may not be able to make some school appointments or some things. Sometimes you might not be able to make, the 5-course meal that you wanted to make. So it's a dance, you have to learn to kind of balance it. So if you miss out on some parts, you make up for it in other ways.
So after 20 years and 5 children, you can sleep maybe 7. Okay. No, but seriously, I think you dropped a very important gem. Mental health. We know tech is very stressful, it's very intense, it changes all the time. but mental health is very essential and important, and we encourage you to embrace that. Okay, I'm winding down, but I love questions from y'all. Like if you have, oh please, in short. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Oh yes, please.
Hi. Nice to meet you,
Same
and
here.
hopefully we can have a chat later. But I'm very intrigued by the fact that you've got 5 kids and you've got all those degrees and certificates and you run a business. Where do you get the energy from? I mean, I think I'm a pretty energetic person, but with 5 kids. Like, how do you do that?
I think I usually ask myself the same question. So, but I think I lean on God especially for strength, because I don't think I could do it of myself alone. And many of the things I just ask for wisdom, because many times I need more hours in the day. Okay, and my firstborn is 200 level law, and then I have my last that is 5 years old. So it's like a wide spread. But then I just have to think, you have to be innovative with some of these things. So like make the elder one be the lesson teacher and pay for lessons, for the 5-year-old, even though it doesn't work most of the time, she still dodges but you just have to be creative and lean on God for strength. What else? Not sleep as much. Yeah.
Of women here
Mm.
who are maybe just starting a family
Right.
and they're excited about tech and they're looking to some of the more experienced entrepreneurs like yourself for sort of advice on how do you do this, because maybe you just recently got married, you now have 2 kids,
Right.
your husband is doing what he wants to do, you're doing what you want to do, and then the kids are there. Are there 3 nuggets that you can give some of these young women to follow? I mean, I wish I could, but I don't have kids, so that you could give these young women to follow so that they can still follow their passion, but they're also very practical in terms of what they're doing. I mean, I agree with you. I've heard this said so many times about the support, having a good support system.
Right.
But I think when you're building your career, you may not be able to afford to have a good support system. So what do you do in that situation?
I always say to each her own. You have to sit down and decide, prioritize. I think that would be the first thing. I had to sacrifice some years of my career to do something more convenient, which was event planning at the time, because I felt, the kids were young. I didn't want to have to go to law school at the time. I wanted to be there for my children. So at that time, I made that decision to do event planning, and then I moved into project management. Secondly, I would say once ready for your career move, you will also need to kind of delegate some things. For instance, I chose to start up on my own. I had the choice of working with big law, okay? But because I had worked with big law before, I knew the amount of hours I would need to put in, and I didn't want to have to work and make excuses, like I'm just coming from school, I'm this, and then I chose a niche area as well. So you can look for your strength, and then now focus on that area of strength that you have, so it kind of pushes you forward, elevates you, as opposed to restricting yourself and generalizing. So maybe niche down, and then I think thirdly would be to delegate or leverage technology. If you don't want to delegate to people, there are a lot of technologies now that you can use that will assist you with work. So I do use a lot of technology to help me in my business, because I know I'm not going to be able to be everywhere at the same time, or in more than one place at the same time. So I do leverage technology where I can, to do that. And maybe I'll add also getting proper talented team members who can work, who understand the work. You don't want to have to start doing too much heavy lifting with staff when you could easily, maybe heavy lifting with 3 staff when you could get one very efficient one, something like that. So that person is able to do everything that you need, as opposed to you carrying, the burden of pushing 3 different people. You might not have that luxury of time. So those are just some of the tips.
Thank you. That was perfect. We'll have one more person. Thank you. Oh, 2. Okay, so please over there by the palm, Messiah. So get you a Messiah. Good team. Yes. Oops.
I think my voice is loud enough, no? Okay, so can you give us examples of those type of, obviously I don't know if it would work for every kind of business here, but at least you give us an idea of the kind of technology to sort of.
Let me just use, like, if you're a small business owner, maybe meeting attendance, you can send in AI to help you with that. There are different softwares that you can use to attend different meetings. They take the notes for you, so you're not like having to find out what happened in the meeting. That will do the minute taking. There are other softwares that can help you once you have your minutes of the meeting done by AI. It will help you arrange it in a seamless way, so that that takes out the time that you're using to read and proofread. There's like Grammarly, for instance, which is cross-checking your grammar. I'm just using like very
AI.
very simple things that you can implement. You can use Canva. Canva AI. Canva has AI now as well. And yes, and then a lot of the AI softwares that can edit pictures and things for you. So there are a number of software out there that you can actually implement to use, especially when it comes to work, so that you're not doing other things. There's the planner as well. I use planner. I use alarm clocks and organizing systems, because I can't remember everything. So it has to alert me, or else I'm going to forget. I keep telling my mom all the time, use this thing. It's there for you. If she couldn't remember she had this, she couldn't remember she had that. I'm like, just the only thing you have to do is sit down and type everything in, and then it does the rest for you. So it will remind you that there are different ones that have different things. Some will, just alert you as in with the sound, the alarm clock. Some will send you emails, that will let you know you're supposed to do this by this time, or you have this and you haven't done that, or you have this deliverable. So there's so many. If you go to the App Store, there's so many apps that you can use, really. And then it does remind you and help you organize your day. And I use it for everything. So even things like, I have to buy fruits for my kids on the way home, because tomorrow is fruit day in school for the 4th and 5th. So I have to buy, so I have that on my phone already, because there is no way I will remember once I leave here. But I've timed it so that once I'm leaving here, something comes on my phone, and then I have to do that. And then I do it in such a way that I have to click or accept that I've done it. So it's not just to use your alarm, the general alarm on the phone. If you use an app, there's certain things that you must enter, so that you have to click on it that this is done, or else they will keep, prompting you. And probably, it maybe has different stages of reminding you. Yes, something like that. So there are just a number of things that you can do. And so like that now can translate into work. If you have different tasks that you have outlined for yourself, you can actually impute those into the apps, and they help you, make you accountable, as opposed to you having like a physical accountable partner who can help you. So that's just a few examples.
So get an AI buddy. Okay.
Copilot.
I like that. It's perfect. So you had one more, and then this side, you guys are not even trying. We're going to get a question from this side too, please. So please go ahead.
Okay, I have 3 questions for you. Okay, so when you were speaking about the challenges, you mentioned emotional challenge, and the moderator also said mental health. So, my question is, as leaders, as frontiers in the tech space, how do we support other women? Like, this is personal to me because I happen to lead, during my cohort days when I was still learning the product space, I led like a group of women. It was just for women, and they were just shouting, "My health, my mental health is a problem. I am emotional." Like, so how do we support them? Like, what do we do? Because we started off the program 1,000 women, and we only graduated like 300. Is that bad? So that's number one. Then the second one is you are in the legal space. There are a lot of issues in the financial tech regarding legality, or I don't know how to put that. So what can you say about that for people that, because I have a very strong flair for financial, but I am scared of that area. So what can you say about that? Then my third question is, you mentioned having proper talent while starting up your firm. Okay, what are the tips you can give to people that are thinking towards that line to get?
And thank you. Those are perfect questions. I don't know if there's a way to compress because I've been told, yes, we are wrapping up, so we appreciate that.
Okay, the first one about mental health. I think the truth is, our society is complicated. Many women, there's some things that it's not easy to share. Because you find that there are a lot of women in the career space, but there are women that are going through domestic violence, some are going through emotional abuse. There are these things that are happening that are silent killers of our women. That's the truth. So you find that I also wanted to do something like that, but you find out that even when you try to encourage the women, they get scared. They don't want to reveal what is going on, so they kind of step back because they don't want anything to affect their business. That's the truth, and that image that they have. So wanting them to be so forward with things like that, I'm not sure we're there yet. But what we can do is to keep trying to have such programs and keep trying to encourage women. What I tell people is to try and make some of the programs either anonymous, or you can log in for the programs. You don't need to use your regular ID or name, but you can still have access to whoever the coach or the person that is speaking and still get that healing or whatever you need from that process. So that's what I usually, encourage people to do. So you need to make an avenue for someone who does not want anyone to know what she's going through, but can still gain, from that or have access to that program. And then, secondly, people should try. We all should try actually to, in our clique of friends or people that are around us, have such programs. I have a program that a group of circle of influence, and we actually do programs like that, mental health, mental well-being. We talk about things like that all the time. So maybe in the little pockets of areas we can get more women to come out, and share such things, but that's that. And then the second one was financial, legal. Like I said earlier, many of us women, we don't really like to pay. Like, you will find a typical woman who look for someone that is her friend or cousin or husband's friend to do the legal work for them instead of paying a professional to do it. And then we need to leave that area and move into doing business properly. Okay, so hire someone who is well versed in the space that you're working in. If it's fintech, if it's Web3, we need to move away from that. Let me just look for someone who can help me, and just do it, properly. And I find that a lot of Web3 organizations don't even, or tech organizations, shy away from paying for legal at the beginning. And that's not entirely wise. Because if you do that, then you end up shooting yourself in the foot later and then have to go back and then start the process, all over again. So many of us founders, Black women, we need to ensure that you get legal on your team, mostly legal and financial. Okay, so somebody you need to get a consultant doing legal for you and financial advice at very early stages, so that you end up building the proper pillars, for your business. And then the third one was
Tips on getting help, talent.
talented people. Yes. So I mean, for that, it's really tricky. I mean, I usually say go with your gut feeling, ask the right questions, and then test, experiment. So maybe if you're hiring someone, maybe try out 1 month. We usually like recommending probationary periods for them. But usually once you need to have a list of what you need. Many of us go into these interviews, interviewing people, and we ourselves don't have a list of what we want. So then you end up hiring the wrong person. But if you have like a list of exactly the kind of person that you need, and you're going to the right places, you will generally find that person. And then, like I said earlier, you might need to pay a little bit more to get that person, as opposed to wanting that person that you need at a much, reduced rate.
You get what you pay
Although it's
for.
not easy at the beginning, I understand, but like I said, instead of hiring two people, just do one person that can do the work. Yeah.
Well, thank you. And I think, there's more questions, but we don't have enough time. So we're just going to wrap it up there and give it up for Barrister Gunshakin
Thank you so
for being
much.
so amazing.
Thank you. You can also send the questions to the group, I guess, and then they will forward as well.
Oh, yes. So please, again, reminder, take the barcode and join the WhatsApp group. Yes, and then I think from there we're going to, the sponsor spotlight, she said. Okay. Please, I'd like to introduce Bilikis Adebi Abiola, the General Manager of Lastra, who is one of our event sponsors today.
Hello everyone, good evening. I shouldn't say the most important one, nepotism is my sister actually. So I'm very happy to be here. It's an honor. When Toby told me about this event, it was very exciting to see that we have somebody that's focusing on helping women in tech. And just from what when I was listening to you talk, I learned quite a bit, and it was very impactful. Just to say a little bit about Lastra. So Lastra is Lagos State Resident Registration Agency, and we're responsible for having an accurate database of all residents in Lagos State. So if you have lived in Lagos for 3 months or more, you are supposed to be on our database. We don't want to stress you guys today with registration, but please check us out online, lagosresidents.gov, and register. You can start online and finish the process at any of our stations at a local government near you. And if you have any questions, you can come to talk to me after. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. Okay. So I think we're at the fun part now. We're getting. Sorry.
Hello again. Hello, good to see you. I'm seeing some familiar faces. That's exciting. And I want to acknowledge my friend Eve. She came from the UK. Thank you so much. You don't get people like that, but when you get a good friend, hold on to it. Sorry. Yeah. So we're moving on to the next level, which is to hear some experts. And I also want to thank Buki Ogunsaki for taking us through that fireside chat. She's actually my sister-in-law. And I'm Buki. I used to be Buki Ogunsaki. She literally replaced me in my family. So that one is still going on, like, is it Buki with a Y or Buki with an I? So we have to always, my mom will say, okay, confusion, you know how it is. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. I do not take you for granted. I appreciate you. All right, So, how has it been for you so far? Let's take a pulse check. How's it been? How's it going? Enjoying it? I also want to thank our sponsors and, sorry, I didn't quite catch your name, but thank you so much. I'm sure we'll get to that level, but thank you for supporting us, for making this event possible. It couldn't have happened without Toby, you, and everyone else. So how has it been for you? Sorry? Inspiring, fantastic. Any other word? Speak up, it's a girl's thing, you know. We're here, it's us. We have to, we must talk. We have to talk. We have a voice. We have a voice and we have to talk.
It's been educative as well.
It's been educative, fantastic. Thank you, Tommy.
It's definitely been worth the travel for me.
Oh, fantastic. It's worth the travel for her. Thank you so much. Anyone in that corner? How has it been for you? If you were actually paying attention. I'm going to call a guy this time. How has it been for you, being in the midst of us?
It's been very exciting to hear about, female founders and struggles that they face and how we are all trying to make a difference in tech.
Thank you. And we are quite inclusive, right? So we have a male speaker here, Mr. Gbenga Omoloku. So I'd like to welcome you to the chair. He's the MD and CEO of Microfinance Bank VFD. Thank you so much for coming. So when some people try to confuse feminism, we're not anti-men, right? We're just saying the group of people that we want to help, that need help, is women. You're allowed to have a persona, right? You have a group of people that you want to help. If you look at your customers now, if you are in EdTech, maybe education, that's your target audience. So I'm a wife, I have boys. It's not, we need to kind of disabuse people's mind about feminism. Like, oh, that one is a feminist. No, it doesn't really count. What we're saying is we have been marginalized, underrepresented, and we need to have a voice. And that's what we need to do. So thank you so much for joining us. So in our events, you will see guys. Some guys are like, no, I'm not going to female. I said, calm down, bro. We need to have a balanced view. We cannot just, we need to hear from, and if the person happens to be a man, fantastic. You're welcome. So thank you. Next person up is Ibokum. I can't miss it. I saw the face and the hair. I said, that has to be her. You really do stand out, your outfit. So she's the head of commercial and finance, customer finance, Piggy Tech, and you'll be hearing more about her as we progress. Then I've got Tomi Balogun. Tomi is a founder turned investor. So if we're looking for funding, if we're looking for a raise, Toby is your go-to, at least one of them. So we're going to learn from her how she went about running her business and also funding other businesses. See, business without money, cash flow, is not going anywhere. So how do we do that? There are grants, there are loans, there are investment. So which one is best for your business? And there's also bootstrapping. Friends and families, there are different options. What is best for your business? If you're pre or early startup, you haven't had any valuation, why are you raising? If they're asking for equity, you won't even know how much to give away or not because you haven't valued your business. So Tommy will be enlightening us more about that. And I've got, Toby, you're here, aren't you? Yay! So the power of steps. So we got Toby Olaniyan joining us here. She's going to show us how it's done, like running an event business and then building an app to support that. How cool is it? Leveraging tech. So, thank you so much, Toby. Who am I missing? That's us, isn't it? Except for me. Okay, so I think stories really stick, right? I love stories. I remember when we were little and, they would sit us down and tell us tales. In fact, my brother used to, he loves plantain a lot. Maybe you don't know this book. We have to donate some pieces of plantain to get story. And that's how much we like. We're like, okay, do you want me to tell you another one? Me and my younger sister. Okay, give us some of your plantain. So we're already doing trade by barter. And that's how much I love stories. So today we want to hear about the journeys of these amazing people sitting here. Please give them a round of applause. So, why did you decide to be a tech entrepreneur? Yeah, we can start.
Okay, hi everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Tobi Olanihu. I run TEPS, the Experience Blog Systems. It's an event technology company. Our first product is a ticketing and 360-degree event management platform for direct users and organizers as well. Why did I start? So I was frustrated with how some things in events were happening, especially check-in processes. I thought some things should be easy. It should be easy to register for an event. It should be easy to check in for an event. There shouldn't be long queues. It was a no-brainer, and I was going for a lot of events out of the country. And I'm like, this thing is easy. Why are we still doing it this way? I actually tried to be like a franchiser or something for other platforms, but it was a cabal. That's the truth. That's what it is. Nobody was interested in partnering with me. I spoke to at least 5 different massive companies, and what I think I was just giving them was info and a market to penetrate. They were not interested in partnering with me, and I was like, nope, I'm gonna move on and do this thing myself. But that was maybe 6 years ago. It took me a while to actually do it because I was busy with my then core business, which is still my core. And we decided to go on that journey. This was long before COVID, because even at a point I had clients ask me, oh, how far with your app? And I was like, I didn't even realize I was telling everybody about it, because I really did think it would be an easy road of collaborating. But I said that, you know what, I embarked on that journey during COVID, and it was very interesting. I didn't realize, I thought it was do app, get developer, move on. But I really thought it was that. But it was crazy. And one of the reasons why we partnered with this event was because the conversations I had then and even now, funny enough, were with women. The first person was Steph Obi. She introduced me to my developers, and there was a day I was practically crying. I was like, who sent me message? Like, I just wanted to help. I wanted things to be easier. It wasn't really about me. I really honestly wasn't thinking about money. I just wanted things to be smooth. I thought it was a no-brainer. Let this thing be good. Let it be good, you know? And I just thought that it was tough. It was expensive. I was like, Steph, this is not how you did it. So this is not what you said on Instagram. You make it seem like she was telling me not to be on the right path, blah, blah, blah. That was good. Another person I spoke with was also a woman, told me right beside me, and she said she didn't realize our conversation, went a long way. I was very frustrated. Very, very frustrated. I was like, developers are crappy, I hate them, blah, blah, blah. I was so upset, and she was, very calmly, even though she has left us, she's not an investor, she's not a startup owner again. She was like, no, Toby, one step at a time, I'll talk to them, talk to them. It's not like that, you have to think about it from their own perspective. She was really making sense, and at that time I was like, this woman, she's so calm. But I realized the power of community, because those 2 conversations, Tommy didn't remember the one with her, I hope Steph remembers the one with her, but it changed everything. I was really frustrated, right? I was really, really frustrated. And it just made me realize this thing is not easy, but you're on the right path and just keep going on. So that's the summary of my story with women. Thank you.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Hello. Good evening, everybody. So
So my story, I think my story started, or my journey started with being broke, basically. So here I was post MBA, and I just wanted to do better with money. And I started an investment club with 4 friends, who happened to be 4 guys. I was the only female. And that's because my female friends were not interested. For them, it was like, what are you people doing? You want to come together to start an investment club and invest? We're not interested. But by the time we started, and we started to invest, everybody wanted to join, but it was too late. Right, so that journey took me on, the journey to start an investment community. So when I started that community, the idea really was to connect those who have with those who need it, basically. So I was connecting individuals, basically, or you can call them investors, with businesses who needed funding, right? That was the goal, and that was my focus. So we started, till date, we raised almost $30 million, right? And it's been a journey of education, right? And for me, I think at some point, after building a community on a Facebook group, managing all of that, businesses were coming to raise funding, we raised debt, we raised equity. It was a case of I needed tech to enable this, right? And so I went into fintech, which was, oh my God, a whole story of its own. And when she asked that story about legal and compliance, trust me, I've been there, still been there. And then you asked about regulators, oh my gosh. So that got me on the journey to how can I build a tech platform to enable all of the things I was already doing, which was connecting those who have with those who needed the funding. So a business would come to us and say, we need debt, so and so, can you help us raise? And because I was doing a lot of education, I'm also a certified financial educator, so I was doing a lot of educating on finances, investing. I would analyze the business, do some due diligence analysis, come up with a report and share with the investors on this basis, this is risk profile, and this is how to consider investing in this business. So we did debt, and then finally we nurtured as investors so we could do equity, because it takes a lot to do equity, and we invested in 2 VC funds. So yeah, all of that got me into tech, and I think one of the things I started to really realize very, very quickly was tech was just crazy. And of course, I also spoke to Steph. Steph is our OG in this space, right? And we connected to developers, I started to work with them. No, that's not the story, I've forgotten. So I actually met somebody else, some developers, and they built the platform for me. And then they built the platform, and I didn't realize, thankfully I had legal counsel. I always had legal counsel for everything I do. And then we signed some sort of agreement, right? We signed the agreement, they started work, they built the platform, it was working. And they say, okay, we're about to hands off, it's time for us to go into support. I didn't realize that support was something that was out of the contract. After I had paid them thousands in dollars, I was going to go into support. And I was like, wait, what? We're still building, right? I said, no, it's time to go into support. I'm like, no, we can't go into support yet. And it says, you know what? We're going to take our hands off, you'll be stuck with the product, yeah, it's time to go into support. And then they bring the bill, say I need to start paying, I think it was $7,000 a month for support. I was like, how? And then I woke up, I remember that Saturday morning, I woke up and I literally said, I'm a person of faith, and I felt strongly to change all my passwords across, my code base, what's that thing called again, GitHub, across my servers. And I started up and I changed all of my passwords. And literally about 2 hours later, I got an email saying, if I did not go into support, I needed to pay them $25,000. It was basically blackmail. And that was my first wake-up call. And thankfully, I spoke to Steph and developers stepped in to help, but it was honestly it was a lot. My lawyers had to step in, all of that. So that was like, for me, my first experience with how you need to understand this whole tech thing. It's not enough to just get developers to build it. And then I got into understanding how the regulatory environment works as well with fintech, currently processing my SEC license and all of that. But honestly, I think I decided to go back into finance while I still have a platform, I still have a tech platform, I still manage fundraising. It would always be a great enabler of what I do, but I think fundamentally I'm still a finance person. Thank you.
Hi everyone. First off, you're very inspiring. Not just the 5 kids and 50 million children, but you're very, very inspiring. First off, I think this is one of the places, because women in tech, there are a lot, but they're younger. I walked in and I'm like, no, this is what I'm trying to say. No. You know what I mean. It's like Gen Z and everybody. So again, what I'm wearing is not strange to the places I go, right? And I'm like, heels? I'm like, wow, very, very in the wrong place. But then I'm very inspired by you. I would love to chat with you after this. And I'm very inspired by all the women in this room. Nobody is great for anybody this year. It's almost like I'm ready to, she flew from the UK. When she said it, I'm like, the pressure now. Because you're used to going perspire to aspire, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I was telling my friend, I was literally chatting with my friend, I'm like, this is not our normal tech events where you just say one or two words, right? I went to Covenant, the best in the world, right? And you're like, we can say a few things and everybody will be happy. But here, I'm very, very excited to be, actually, I'm here to listen more than, I mean, I have my orgas, literally is my orgas. So how did I get it to be an entrepreneur? That's the question, right? I didn't have anything I wanted to do in my life, to be honest. My dad sent me to school. I went to Covenant, I went to Coventry, and this was the next thing. And then I just noticed that my brother brought 2 of his friends home, and they were not sleeping. So we have 3 boys that went to Covenant as well. Covenant is the best school in the world, guys. And they were not sleeping. And I'm like, oh, what are you guys doing? And they said they were building this discount loyalty platform. And I'm like, I'm in the UK. This was something that we're used to. So I was always talking to them. And at the time, I did accounting for my first degree. And I was in business for my master's. So I'm like, it's time to use this brain. So we were talking. I came back home. My dad was really annoyed that I sent you to school. You're coming to work with boys. But like, I wanted you to go out. I had a very smooth part into Schlumberger. Just come and attend the interview. They were begging me for years. Come and attend. My cousin didn't talk to me because he wanted to remove all the family, to bring up all the family so that I would not be begging my uncle all the time. He was really annoyed with me. He didn't speak to me for like 3 years. He speaks to me now very well. And I don't know, I had just drive to keep working with my brother and his friends. And that's how we really started. Odun, when you hear Odun's story, she looked into the window. I was inside. We were downstairs. So my dad rented, even though he was angry, but he rented the flat downstairs. So we started to work there. We started to work on our first product, which was the discount loyalty platform. Odun joined as well, then Terry, everybody. So we just came, and it's 11 years now, and we've just been doing it. So everybody knows the popular one, which is Piggyvest, but we feel that's like 5 things. And yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Okay, so first of all, there's a reason why there's only one school called Great Ife.
Again, this is not the room. This is not the room. This is not the room.
So I think my journey to tech, I don't know, it sounds a lot boring when I hear what everybody has said, but so my dad has always been a techie. He's 87 and he's still a techie, right? And so I'd always had a computer since I was a kid, right? So all the Windows 3.0, 3.1, so I'd always had a computer, right? And I learned how to use PowerPoint on my own, all those things when I was in secondary school. So when I got into university, and I think when I got into university was, I'll call it the golden age in my opinion. You know, when you're old, you always believe that your own time was the golden age, right? So I think it's the golden age of tech, which was in Ife. And that was when there was a lot of tech activities going on. So we had there was a block in the halls where they had like their own local networks, right? So people were watching movies on computers in other people's rooms, right? It sounds normal today, but this was in 2004, 2003. So it was really novel at the time, right? So then I even got a job in a cyber cafe, just because I wanted free internet access. I didn't want to be paying for it, right? A lot of my colleagues were doing, C++, all those things. I tried my hands at C++ for 3 months, then I realized that this was not for me. I didn't have the patience, but then I joined an organization in my second year called ISEC, right? And I think that was, so that was actually pivotal in my life, right? So Toby and I were in ISEC together. And it was pivotal because, again, I grew up in the north, so I'm quiet, I'm shy. And I come to this school, and my cousin is like, no, you have to come and join this organization. And here I am, traveling, drinking beer, and partying up and down. So it was fun. But what it did open up my eyes to do was I was very sure I wanted to go into consulting when I left school. But there was a small spanner in the works. I didn't know about consulting at that time, let me put it that way, but I liked the kind of things that we were doing. And finishing school, going to service, I got like 2 offers to work in a bank before I even got there. So I served in Delta State. I went there and they refused to post me to any bank, even though I had like letters from 2 banks. So small spanner, but I ended up working at the remand home. So I was a prison supervisor for my NYSC. So I was very sure when I got back to Lagos that no, I wanted to work for Accenture. So by then, I'd seen all their fly bags, everything. I was like, yeah, this is kind of life. This is what the ISEC thing was about. So I started the Accenture process. It was very slow. Knowing what I know now, it wasn't very slow, but this was in April at the time. So my sister now said, that her friend works in KPMG, I'll drop your CV. She dropped my CV. I was like, no, I don't want KPMG. It's Accenture. These are the guys. We're going through the process. Zenith Bank said, come and work. You didn't serve, come and work. So I joined Zenith Bank. I finished the process with Accenture. And I remember always calling the guy in HR, please, how far? Just give me a date. So I know when to resume. No, we can't, blah, blah, blah. I finished the process with KPMG. KPMG said, come and resume. I called the guy in Accenture. I said, how far? KPMG has given me an offer, but I don't want. I want your own. We don't know. I started off banking, so I just joined KPMG. 2 weeks later, the guy said, yeah, it's time. I said, okay, I've collected laptop. And I've collected my laptop at the time, so I didn't. But very quickly, working in KPMG, I think within my first, by the time I was doing my second project, I was now writing on a notebook that, the kind of things that I wanted in life, right? And I was very clear that, okay, yes, I want to be very comfortable in life, and I wanted to have time. And I looked at KPMG and I was like, I'm not going to have plenty of money in my pocket, even if I get to partner in this place, right? So I was very clear that even though at some point I wanted to be a partner at 32, then it's impossible these days, but I wanted to be a partner at 32. I knew that wasn't going to work. And a friend of mine who was in ISEC was like, that he's going for this thing, that there's some guys thinking of starting up a business, right? I'm just going to try and chat and see what's up. Okay, I'm coming. This was my first year. So I'm like, yeah, I'm coming. So we went, I listened to it. We were trying to, at the time, they were trying to start up a fractional real estate business, right? So we'll find land, build property, then sell it. So, okay, I liked it. I'm the guy for me consulting, so I should be able to talk and explain how this thing will work, right? A lot of these guys were ex-consultants as well, by the way. So, fast forward, we started raising money. We didn't raise enough. And, well, we were raising from family and friends, and we didn't raise enough, and that's where it ended. But we had collected money. What are we going to do with the money? We started, Barbing Salon. Barbing Salon is what has led to VFD today. So at some point, so for the longest time, I was doing a lot of tech work in KPMG, and I was Bruce Wayne during the day, Batman by night. So during the day, I was working at KPMG. By night, we were doing VFD work. So it was a side gig. And by 2006, we then said, well, actually from 2004, we had been saying, 2014, we had been saying somebody had to leave to come and run, but nobody was ready. So we just said, okay, all of us should leave and come and, operate the business. So 2016, I transitioned fully, and there goes my fintech life.
Wow. So I'm going to start from the last. So it wasn't planned, was it?
Well, no, it wasn't.
You fell
it
into
wasn't.
it.
It was supposed to be financial services, but tech has come and so yeah.
Okay, so I think you should prepare your questions because we're going to come round and see, what you want to ask them. But for me, setting up a microfinance bank is kind of challenging and it needs a lot of money to do that. So if there's someone sitting in this room now thinking, I want to build the next Kuda, right? So what would be your advice to that individual? No, I'm just saying Kuda is a bank, right? It's a microfinance too.
Yeah, but here we talk about VBank. We don't talk about. Okay.
I'm covering my face.
That's
How
fine.
dare I mention another company?
It's okay. I mean, and to be honest, I think oftentimes competition is actually very important, right? And competition is actually what validates a business, right? So if you're the only one raising shoulder, then something's going to come and slap you down. But when you have competition, you go, but that person, you cannot just. You have to destroy all of us, so it's harder. So banking is serious business. Let's start from that. And I think very often a lot of people don't realize. And last 2 years with the fintech boom and everything, I remember talking to a lot of people. Let's partner. Let's do this. And next, oh no, we were getting our own license. And I'm like, yeah, supermarket chain. Why are you getting? Do you think banking is the same thing as running a supermarket? But very quickly, I think the cost of compliance is something everybody needs to think about, right? And when I say the cost of compliance, it's not that you're paying someone to do it. It's that a lot of things can go wrong very quickly, right? With banking, where is the money coming from? Where is the money going to? There's the internal issues. A vast majority of fraud today, especially with the traditional banks, is actually internal, right? So there's fraud, there's regulation moving back and forth. So I would say think about why, first of all, right? Is there a real reason why you want to do it? And yes, you want to make money. Yes, you can make money with banks. But more importantly, what you should start looking at really is who are the experts that can help you, right? Because beyond raising money, it's not about raising money, because all the banks that we're hearing about today, all the banks that went down, the ones CBN took over, they raised all the money that we're talking about. They still have a ton of money, right? We all still have money in all of these banks as deposits, right? So it's, first of all, money is, I think, the simplest issue to address, because all you need to do is find someone that has the money to invest. But the other things are, what will the bank do, right? And I say that some banks are set up not necessarily for credit, but maybe to facilitate transactions or to operate in a specific niche. Some banks want credit, and if it's credit, then you need people that really understand credit and what kind of credit. There's so many kinds of credit, right? So there are people that do microcredits, there are people that do SMEs, there are people that say, well, we only want to bank workers, right, or people that have regular income. So I would say it's more about the skill sets that's required and understanding what you want to achieve with the bank, and they help you out with that. But it's not difficult, let me put it that way, to be honest, right? It's not really difficult, but you need to be sure what it is you want to do, and you need to know a serious business.
Thank you very much. Because the figures from diaspora, the amount of money that comes into Nigeria or even Africa as a whole is phenomenal. And, as you said, there's money to be made, right? I know of some people that do exchange, and it's not just anyhow exchange, a lot of money. So if you're in that space and you're seeing that opportunity, it doesn't mean that everyone should go and open a bank or microfinance or whatever, but it's just like what you said, know your why. Why am I doing it? But the opportunities are there. Sometimes we still use the middlemen, the typical send money to this account, then that person will do transfer and pay into your own account. So there's two gaps in the market for anyone that is in that space.
And just to add, right, if you have those sort of opportunities, the reality is, and be yourself a middleman, start from that. Use the Dangote model, right? So be the middleman, own your customers, understand it, don't carry the risk, let someone else carry the risk. When you get to a place where, like, okay, I have capital, I understand this thing, go and do your own, right?
So, well, are you hearing me? You're the middleman. Thank you so much, Benga. Question for you. Does anyone have any question? Anyone in the house? I can throw it out for anyone at all. But, okay, it is allowed.
You say money is not the problem. I agree with you. What is it? But when you do need investing, I know that everybody will say you can decide to go equity, VC, but sometimes you don't want VC, you don't want any, how do I ask this question? You need money, but you don't want those funny strings. What's the way to go? That's my simple question.
Is that directed at Tommy then?
All of them, anyone.
Tommy, can you take that? We need money, but we don't want...
Okay, so I am a founder and I'm also an investor. And I think so far we have invested in over 90 plus startups because I'm also a member of an angel network based in the US. So I have seen multiple startups, I've seen multiple decks. And I think that, I mean, you said you don't want VC. I think a lot of founders, especially female founders, have to be very clear and understand the dynamics of funding. If you're talking to a VC investor, they're looking for scale. Is your business going to be the next $1 billion business? That's it. Honestly, that is it. So when they say no to you, it's nothing personal. It's not because you're a female. There are some female building $1 billion businesses. There are. But I have to be able to get a return on my money. I have to get 10x, 20x, 100x. That's it. That's what I'm looking for. So honestly, I've been on both sides, so I totally understand it. And honestly, it's not sentimental at all. It's just because the VC funds also have investors they have to report to. So, for instance, I'm an LP on a fund, and I expect that fund to do at least 10x, right, on that fund. So that's VC. Then you speak about what else is there? Angel investors. Angel investors are probably usually kinder, your friends and family or people that, and I think you also have to really understand your business model. What exactly can this business achieve? What's the scale? How big can this business be? I think that's the first question to ask yourself. Is this a mom and pop shop? Because honestly, we have to be honest with ourselves. If this is a mom and pop shop, maybe you don't need investor money. Maybe you can actually do debt, right? Have you considered debt? Have you considered, getting some sort of grants? There's so many organizations giving grants right now, especially if you're in the sustainability space, or can paint that picture, because sometimes it's about telling the right story, right? So, you look at all of those levels, starting from friends and family, angel investors, grants, before you even get to the VC guys. So if you're really going to talk to a VC fund investor, honestly, that is what you look out for. So in terms of finding the right fit, because sometimes you also need to know, is this the right fit for me? So for me, for instance, I bootstrapped, right? And because I'm a financial person, I made the money from day one. I was very clear that my business model has to be profitable from day one. Now I understand that may not be applicable to all business models, right? And that's especially if you're capital intensive or requires, and maybe because I didn't start first off with building a tech platform, I started as a community first, built profitability around it, ensure that I was making profit and I could invest my own money into building the platform. And fundamentally, I'm still a financial service company. In fact, when you were saying middleman, that's exactly what I was doing. I was raising money from the retail investors and then giving to the businesses that needed it in terms of debt and in terms of equity. So you consider your business model. What exactly is this business model tailored to? Can this make money for me? Can it be profitable, right? Do I really have to take external funding? And if you do have to take external funding, consider grants. There's so many grants, there's so many organizations focused on women, the Cartier Foundation, and so many others, numerous to mention. I know one of the reasons I know Bill Gates is because you won the Cartier. It was so inspiring to all of us at the time. I did apply and I got to top 10, and then I dropped off. But honestly, there's so many opportunities for women that can help you grow your business. Because once you bring investors in, honestly, like you said, there's a cost of compliance, there's also a cost of investors. Now you see a lot of businesses shutting down. Why? Investors are coming home like, where's my money? Right? Where's the money? And honestly, the businesses that are even shutting down I just went through 2 or 3 experiences of businesses that I invested in shutting down. It's painful. it's your money as well. So yes, find the right match or find the right fit for your business. But I think you should speak more to that because I think PD has an interesting story.
I see what you did there. I think she has said everything, but the one thing in my head, especially when I'm thinking about our story, is do you actually really need money? And I think it's a question people are afraid to ask themselves because they're like, I need money, I want to stay faculty. But what do you have now that you can do that will not need you to have all of this cost? Because when they come, they are not smiling. They might be smiling, like she said, like people, even angel investors are not angels. It's the name because they are a woman. Like they are not. I mean, well, we had one, the perfect one. It's not really sure, but I speak about him every way. He's like the best person that, but he still reminds us of why he's here. And he's not here because he just wants to change the world. He wants to tell us his money too as well. We're watching the world and liking us, right? So what can I do that would not require me having to report to somebody, or because it's very stressful. But when it is just you, personally, I'm not a fan of solo anything. People that do it, I give them credit. I don't know the experience of it. I know people that do and they're mostly frustrated as well, right? So if you and your partners or you alone have something that can do that would generate instead of taking the inflow, I think is, in my opinion, one of the routes that should be thought about first. Right.
Thank you. Yeah, I think Toby's question has been answered. In addition to that, there are lots of funding available, but if we don't know what we don't know, right? So there are organizations even outside of Nigeria that want to help, that are interested in Africa for some bizarre reason. They see value in us. So, but we need to be well positioned. We need to have our ducks in a row. Like I think, was it Tommy that said it? You need to make sure that you have traction, that your business is viable before you can invite someone. And one thing she also mentioned is that you don't need to seek investor, right? You need to make sure that you use what you have first. Because the reason is when you invite these people in, I've seen a lot of startups shut down rapidly because the pressure is on. What are you doing? How much have you made? On top of running business, who need that hassle? For me, I'm bootstrapping. I'm only accountable to myself. You get to a point that if you need to really like scale, you need funding. But until I get to that point, I'm not ready because I have issues I'm dealing with, right? I'm trying to run a business, manage team, do the strategy, have meetings with clients, and then someone is there going and telling me where's my money. So friends and family, loans, debts, all of that should be your first option. I do a webinar on this, like, funding options, so that people are well enlightened. A lot of people are falling into the trap of, oh, let's go and raise, because everybody's raising. So I just want to say that it's not the only option that's available. And grants, as we all know, you don't need to pay back. So at the moment, we're running a boot camp in London, like an accelerator. We like that one, don't we? So our local council loved the program and said, you know what, they're going to sponsor 5 people. So they're paying, it's a grant, which is fantastic. I don't have to pay a penny back. So there are notes, and this morning I had a meeting, and the lady was like, oh, are you a CIC? CIC is a charity or charitable organization. I said, no, I registered as a limited organization. Oh, I've got £20,000 to give, but you don't, doesn't apply to you because my company is registered as limited. So you need to understand your business model. What is your operating model? Are you a social enterprise? Then you need to register as such. Because a lot of organizations don't give grants to limited because it's your business, you're going to sit on it. But there's still things tied to having a CIC or charity, because once you have to nominate board of directors and trustees, so it's not really your company. If you don't want to run it today, like female techpreneur, I have to hand it over to someone else. So you have to think deeply about your operating model, and then, if you decide that's what you need, the grants for charitable organizations, fantastic. Anywhere, you will get that inflow coming in. So, question? We'll take, please. We'll take, please.
Thank you so much. I think I've been waiting for this exact moment all evening. So if you know that you are at that stage where you need funding, you have sought the route of grants and then you are denied every time, and then you ask questions and okay, what is the criteria you're looking for exactly? And then they don't respond back. I don't know. I think I was very polite in all my emails. I took time out to sit down and, really, really curate how I answered all the questions. And I'm not talking about 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. I believe I run a business that is viable. I believe I've been running this business since 2012. I'm by myself. I'm still looking for those angels. Those angels are looking for equity right now. They are not willing to, give the money. The family route, I believe my entire family know exactly what I do. And when I've reached out, no one has really offered. Maybe I haven't hounded enough. I don't know, but I don't think it's really my personality. But I know I'm at that point where I need funding to expand. I want a franchise business. I'll say again, I run a gym and a fitness center. And it's not your conventional gym, because I know the conventional gyms scare women especially. And then we're not purely for how do I put this? For money. No, don't get me wrong, as investors, I want to make money. But we are for a complete woman. We cater to men as well. But then we want to let women know that we understand that you're menopausal, we understand that you're perimenopausal, we understand that you have PCOS, we understand that you have thyroid functions, we understand that you have all these issues that affect your ability to lose weight and get fit and gain your fitness goals. And we have the knowledge to help each individual with those different problems. And our women know, but then how many years? 2012 is 2024, I still have just one outlet. So I know I'm at the stage where I need funding. The angel investor route hasn't necessarily worked. I don't think I've pushed enough, to be honest. The family side, in fact, I'm not even going to bother. So I know I'm at that stage where, and I've tried the different grants, I've even inquired as to why I was denied and what the criteria is and what it is exactly that they're looking for. So my question now is, what is the criteria that investors are looking for? I mean, if you've been in a business profitably since 2012 till now, but you've not been able to scale, obviously there's something I guess I'm not doing right. Again, I'm on my own, and I feel if I have a network, really the reason why I'm here, a network of people that can say, okay, Dolly, you need to try this, Dolly, you need to do this, Dolly, you need to. I think I need that, but moreover, the biggest issue is knowledge. I just need to know exactly what investors are looking for and how I can partner with people. Sorry, that was
the experts are here. But from what you said, I think you already even answered the question.
Yes.
You try to do the things you think you need. I always have Hercules and Tosionla saying this at the same way they did. They built some great community. And once they did that, all they in quotes need, because I know they need more, but the thing they needed for that next stage, for them to get to be visible to the people that can drop the big cash, they got it from their community. I think, in my opinion, and then these experts will tell you more. No, me, I'm just being very honest. I think you should really consider that community route. You really have, from the passion is very clear. It's almost like, I want to solve this problem. You guys see me, I can do it. And I think you should speak to like-minded people and people that have the problems as well. if everybody comes, the power of community, you cannot. It's one of the reasons why religions is very successful in this country and Africa as well. Everybody has that same mindset, and they're going to drop anything, no matter how small, no matter how big. If you look at it in that way, I'm trying to change the world. And you keep saying, it's not like I'm trying to make money. That's one of the reasons why the people that need to 10x might not listen to you, because you are not passionate about the money side. And you don't sound like it. Right? So I can imagine if I, for example, and then who are the angels you're targeting? I think target the angels that have the same problem. Want somebody that has all of these things and has $1 million that she's not using, she'll give you. I'm telling you, she's going to give you that money. So I will let them speak the jargon.
$1 million that she's not using. The keyword. Well, honestly, I mean, as I was listening to you, I was like, oh my God, this is exactly what I need in my life right now. So that's because I've just been on this health journey, trying to figure out how much muscle density I should have, trying to figure out, and it's such a big need that a lot of women don't even realize. And I think it's a very great opportunity. But hello, we need more female investors. We need more female investors that will get up and say, you know what, we like this, we're going to put money behind this, we're going to invest in this. So exactly what she said, you need people that understand the business you're building. Now, as you were speaking, I totally got it. I mean, I sit down in front of YouTube and I watch videos every day, learning about blood sugar, cholesterol, everything, just trying to understand health. So I know, I mean, I'm trying to figure out where I can do like a whole full body workout kind of thing, and so I really get it. So now, how do we match the business and the story to finding funding? Now, there are so many ways. Now, you said you've gone the angel investor route. You've considered grants. I feel that there's still opportunities there, especially if you find funds that are quite focused on what, and sometimes it's the way you tell your story. So, for instance, are you saying I run a fitness company? How about a wellness company? How about can't you go into the health space? It's wellness, right? How about thinking about a different way to tell the story that matches what investors are looking out for? You'll be amazed about what you can really get into if you figure out how to tell the story properly, right? So that's one. And then, I've forgotten what I was going to say now. Okay, I was going to say also probably consider debt, because you said you wanted to do franchise. I mean, start a franchise, which is probably establish other gyms, right? You might also consider some debt models, some convertible models. So I don't really know your numbers. So your numbers will determine what you can do in terms of how you can structure either some debt or equity or all of that. So in addition to everything she said, I would say you should consider all of those things. But honestly, I think there's a huge need. And maybe you should also consider education as a core pillar, right? To also drive a lot of awareness, bring people into it. A subscription model will be perfect for you, by the way. So, yeah.
And I think in the community, I personally, I think like with that community, with the education as well, and then I think you should sit down with someone to teach you how to tell your story. Exactly. You might not need to raise money if your community and all of that kind of.
1,000 women paying you 10,000 naira every month. That's $1 million naira. Oh, no, how much was that? 10 million naira cash flow. Oh yes.
So what you're saying, I just had a conversation. You just had a conversation. So Dolly, I think you're missing out on a lot. Yeah.
There's even corporate as well. Corporate partnerships. My God.
I just wanted to add, during COVID, that's what everyone was doing, just looking for who to talk to them, just paying for one subscription or the other, because everyone was home. Everyone was going mad. You know how it was. COVID, well, of course, for us in the UK and all of that, it was really difficult. Yes.
Honestly,
exactly.
when I walked into the room, I noticed you. Why? Because you're toned. You're my ideal body. That's what I want to be like. So honestly, I think you have a lot to teach people about so many things. And you can also partner with some health companies. There are a lot of health companies that do all these health fairs. Partner with them. There's so many things you can do.
You know what I was speaking to about earlier, opening yourself in, diversify into maybe Web3. There are people who are paid to do classes in virtual reality. Okay, so, and I know that there are lots of people that make a lot of money and get a lot of grants as well for VR, either wellness programs or exercise programs. So sometimes you might be looking to VCs, but in a different sphere. So maybe you need to look towards VCs that are looking toward Web3, augmented reality, virtual reality. That's also an option for you. So if you diversify and have different options, you can try them out, and one of them might be different, and then you start earning in dollars, which is not bad.
Exactly. And you don't need all of the capital buildings and all of those and machines.
She's going to create a course.
So I just wanted to.
The boss is talking now, everybody.
I wanted to
calm
just
down.
add to what they said. And very great points, and I hope you really take it. It's like free consulting. So the first point about, the point she made about you can talk to people and they'll pay you, and you were like, talk to people. It's not just talk to people. It is help them solve a problem. So all of them have a problem. So if you take time, do some market research, understand what these women are really going through, and then if you design a solution, they will pay for that solution. This is what I'm saying. So, and there are women willing to pay. This thing you're doing is not new. There are people that are already doing it. So if you look for those examples, for instance, they can help you to strengthen your belief while you do the market research and while you start this thing. In a lot of ways, I think it's very exciting. You're innovating, you're creating. So look at it as an exciting journey. You'll see some things on the road, but you're all right. The second one is if you decide to go the debt financing route or even community financing route, you always have to give people an offer that they cannot refuse. So if you're saying that I've been looking for funding since 2012, I couldn't get funding, I'm telling you, you haven't packaged the offer. Like when you finish talking, people should be like, where's my money? Take my money. Do you understand? And so it's always remember that there's competition for money. They don't give it, like people, even if people have money, they don't do, even if somebody has $1 million, they're not doing anything with it. There are several options of how they can invest their money. So you have a good story, which is that you're doing wellness, but then even the person who is passionate about wellness still needs an offer that they can't refuse. So if you sit down with the finance people, do the numbers very well, tell a good story, and then still when you're presenting that thing offer to them, they should still see how they are going to get their money back and get more.
I think.
Sorry, let me just.
Okay.
Sorry, this is not financial advice, but I know you done it right, and I think the reality is you need to change what it is that you do. There's a difference between passion and running a business, right? You do everything on your own. You can't. Nobody can. When you start getting serious about running a business, as the head of a business, what you do is totally different from what the business does, right? So, I run a bank. I also run a tech company. But what I do is not banking, it's not tech. What I do is more or less relationship management. That's it. So I'm spending all my time talking to people about, oh, you have this money, what do you want to do with it, right? Oh yeah, come. Immediately say, yes. I just throw them to somebody else. The person continues, right? So today, when you go and meet Tommy, that how far with money, who's going to be running the gym, right? Who's going to be doing all these things you're talking about? You need to have a structure for that, right? And in my experience with a lot of businesses that we've financed, right? And it's even how one of the things that we were talking about changing. I mean, we gave someone a ton of money, and everything went bad. And we went back and looked and said, you don't have finance function. You don't have accountant. So who was doing all of these things? Oh, no, I was blah, blah, blah. You can't, right? So when you start talking about structuring a business, whether you're thinking about looking for credit or you're looking for investors, and I like what Boki said at some point, right? Competence is good. So you must be able to talk about these things, right? So do you have a sense of what your profit margin is today? So if you take out the cost of debt to expand, wouldn't it work? So those are the kind of things, I mean, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot, right? But those are the kind of things you need to start thinking about because, and I like what everybody here has said. I feel like we're all on the panel, right? But I actually like what everybody has. Perfect opportunity to build this community, cult following, you get that. So you can do that, and you find out that half the time what you're going to be doing is managing that cult, not really. So you have to feed the beast, right? So you have to now start structuring to feed the beast, learn the right stories, right? So I think understand your business, ensure your business is structured. So when you go and talk to Tony, you're like, these are my numbers, this is this is what's going on. See the muscles, you know, we're gonna do this, and she just give me like, take.
Thank you, Becca. Thank you, everyone that have contributed. I think, you know, if you were to go home today now, you know that you had at least 6 consultants, you know, nailing, it's called mastermind, actually tackling your issue and giving you answers. So I think this meeting is very, very important, and you have a community here that, you know, if people opt into the WhatsApp group, that it doesn't have to end today. You know, you might need maybe staff consultancy. Of course, you know, they do charge for their services. You never can tell, to help you structure that package. You know, like everyone said, know your SWOT, your strengths and weaknesses. So in what area do you need to outsource and get specialists to help you? Maybe it's finance or whatever. Because if you're looking to scale, you too have to have the skin in the game, you know. So I think we flogged that to death. We've been talking about businesses. Okay, we'll take that, because I have a feeling some people are on the career path as well. Sorry, we'll take your question now.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I am Dara Simi. I'm a law graduate from OAU. And I am currently serving in Lagos here at a law firm. Also, on the flip side, I'm an HR I work remotely as HR for a tech startup. So now my question is directed to you, Madam Tomi. You mentioned that it's a different thing to hire developers, and also it is good to know the tech in depthly. So most times when we are having our remote meetings, you know, as the HR, because I actually onboard talent too on it's part of my work. So I really do not understand some tech jargons they talk about. The back end will come, they will talk, okay, we have to do this, we have to do that. The mobile team will come, Dara, do a follow-up. The front end, yes, they will come, the design, the Figma. I'm lost. I don't know what to do. So most times I'm always using the Notion app to arrange, okay, I need to do this, I need to do that. Sometimes I make voice notes myself personally. Like, okay, I need to read this, I need to ask this question, I don't know what to do. So recently I've been looking for some certifications that I can do, maybe to have an idea entirely of what exactly they are doing. But I'm trying, you know, at least, Dara, well done, this is good, this is good. But most times I'm lost. I watch YouTube videos to just keep updated that, okay, what's going on. When those guys mention, oh, I have to deploy some things, I don't understand. Especially the DevOps engineer. They be like, oh, Dara, we need to deploy this to the iOS because we are building a product. So, I don't understand. So how do I go about this? Do I need to have a certification or the likes? That's just it.
So you've already started, right? Anytime you hear something funny, you either ask the person, and if you don't want to be in that position to ask, you note it and learn it later. That's the only way. You keep on building. You're on the right path. There's no special magic. There's nothing. You just have to keep learning. I have a friend, I call him my tech bro. We attend the same gym. When I hear, I'll be like, okay, what are they saying? And he will tell me, sometimes I Google, sometimes I ask a friend, Billy Kids, I'll ask, I say, what are the people saying? But by the time I'm talking to the person, man, I'm on point. They don't know. So you just keep learning, and before you know it, you're well versed in the industry.
Okay, I think when HRs talk, I'm very excited because They are the professionals on all professions, right? But for me, you don't need to know what the back end person is. Just know the basics, right? And I think you're already on the very right path. Because if tomorrow you're the HR in a global hospital chain, do you want to know what the neurosurgeon is fixing? So in my head, I think I personally, when you said you were just finishing, I wasn't thinking of all the things that you're doing now, and I think you're having a very great head start, right? Google is your friend. Another thing is, when she said, if you don't want to be in the position to ask, it's something that I struggled with a lot when I was growing up, but it's also the thing that's helped me the most, because overcoming that is what made me very knowledgeable, what I feel I am, right? Especially with my profile. If you're thrown in the middle of those geniuses, you can be very lost, right? And I'm the oldest in the group. I'm currently 33, right? Correctly. Now imagine I being the oldest in the group, and you're talking to people, and they're saying things, and it's flying over my head. And I started to notice that imposter syndrome, that thing can drag you down. That shame, it's shame that is don't want you to ask. Sorry, what do you mean? Like, so funny story, right? You know when you're 7, 9, 150 something, you now start hearing people and their different cultures. So this fraud guy, we hired a nice guy, and he started to use a lot of abbreviations, EST, VA. I'm like, bro, sorry, and nobody's asking any question because we're all texting each other. Please, what's this guy saying? I'm like, okay, Oluwasegun, my G. I mean, and we were very, how will I put it, shocked, because he was coming from a fintech. So we thought, yeah, we all just say everything. You don't need to form, knowledge genius. I'm like, okay, so chef, please don't be annoyed. Please, what's the meaning of this? And then it's so simple, like maybe, I remember when one of the first things that it was like he needed to, we're trying to get, and it's like, he wanted to talk about the police. It's police he wanted to say. But he's like, some long word, and everybody's like, for the police, right? Do you get what I mean, right? So it's like, don't be ashamed to ask, and then, I mean, there is the part of not being a nuisance, right? But there is, you guys have spoken about all of these things. Can somebody please just give me a summary of what this means, or what does that mean? Or what do you expect that I know of this thing, right? And then you're very passionate, but you are in a, which would probably address the career question as well. You're in a career that needs to be very generic. So you can't waste your time being too knowledgeable in one area. If tomorrow you go to the UK or you go to the US and you're working with carpenters, right? So what? Oh, Ibadan, sorry. Right, and you're working with, some other knowledge, right? I think you're in the right part of knowing to be a generalist. That's what you just need to be doing, and hone that general. So that when a doctor is talking, you can talk. When an engineer is talking, you can talk. When a medical person is, did you understand what I'm saying?
Let me explain what I mean by that. I find, and I was having this conversation with somebody earlier on, I find that a lot of, and I guess it's because we are in Nigeria, we like certifications, we like degrees, and not to dismiss the people that have it. But when you rush into getting a certification without actually having the experience, it doesn't help. Now, I'll give you a personal story. I used to be in banking, and also I worked for a number of tech companies before I came back to Nigeria. 6 years ago, I moved into insurance. I had no knowledge of insurance, and insurance is actually quite a very technical space, so to speak. And I came in at a very senior level. And so what I said to everybody was, look, I know my piece, which is project management, operations, tech. I'm not an insurance person. You brought me here because I'm not an insurance person, because you wanted somebody who could speak to the business and also speak to technology. So I'm here to learn about insurance. I don't understand it. And every meeting I went to, I made it clear. If they're saying something I don't understand, I'm like, sorry, can you repeat that? Or can you explain it? There's no shame in saying you don't know. And very, very quickly, within about a year or 2 years, I think it was, I then went to do the certification. Now, the reality of it is when at that point, when you've gathered the experience and you go and do the certification, you're working from knowledge. It's not just paper and theory. So whether it's tech you want to focus on or whether it's other areas, don't rush to go and do a certification. Try and learn something first so that when you go do the certification, you're working from a position of knowledge and experience. Yeah?
Hello? You guys don't know what to use. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's a slap. So one thing I want to add to that is build a glossary of terms. You will encounter these words again. So start building your own collateral, and it might help somebody else. So as you start to encounter anything that's weird or strange, and you've spent your time checking it on Google, just start building. Because sometimes when I contract and I get new jobs, because I'm a senior business analyst, right? And it's industry agnostic, so I could be fintech, I could be beauty, I could be anywhere. But you learn, you start to collate all those new words that are strange to your own industry. And I think HR generalist, you might find yourself in any organization. So that would help you as well. And I don't think you should niche down to tech right now, but for me, what I can see for you is that you have flair for it. For you to even be worrying about it that much. So maybe you may want to do a rate check and see where it's taking you. Because I used to be an SAP HR consultant, which means I'm building SAP application systems. So you never can tell. You can transition from being a generic HR person to understanding a particular system and consulting for global organization because they use all those ERP applications. Okay? No worries. Okay, I think our time is fast spent. We haven't heard from this corner at all. You've been really, really patient listening to us. So, exactly. So, any volunteer, you've been volunteered, right? So, how has today been for you? Or do you have a question? So, freestyle.
Hello everyone, my name is Sheila. Well, today has been interesting. Sorry? Oh, hi. Today has been good. It's been really good. What do I do? Oh, so, jack of all trades. So, I'm a project manager and I also do consulting. So sorry, I didn't remember your name. That owns the gym. Yes, hi. So I've worked with an NGO before and I also managed some of their grants. So when you explained what you did and why they rejected you, I don't know why they did, but there's so many reasons. You know, sometimes when we look at grants, okay, should we accept this grant? It's almost like, you know, when you have to be specific in what you want. So it depends on how your plan is. You know, like you said, what's your SWOT analysis? What's your niche? Do you have a scope? What's your business plan? So if I'm looking at some companies to give grants to under like $10,000, those ones are easy. They're easier to get. But if you're a gym, for example, you said you're for women, but also men can come. So it's a bit confusing. So the only thing I would say is maybe you need to work on your plan. Maybe after we talk and I'll explain like how we do our grants and how we did it before and that kind of stuff. But I think in general this was nice. It was good to hear everyone's opinion, what to do, especially the tech.
She's the only one I've spoken to that got a round of applause. Yeah? Who else? Who else? Please clap for her again, Jerry. So we covered here now. We covered here. Over there, that corner. I know I spoke to the gentleman there, but who else has something to say?
Any question, any comments? Oh, the lady in white. You've asked the question. Do you have another one? Okay, go on.
Okay, good evening everyone once again. I wanted to ask, what do we do regarding financial equality in Nigeria? That the time you mentioned the diaspora reports, because I have also been, as I said earlier, I have a flair for fintech. So I've been following the financial status of Nigeria, and there's a lot of money in this country, but yet there's no financial equality. So as people in the financial spaces, what do we do regarding that?
So the thing about financial equality, I find that means different things to different people, right? And I know this. I know what the statistics say, but I would also ask you, what does it mean to you, right? What will mean? What will make you think it's okay so far? Yes. And I'll explain why I'm asking that. Because when everybody talks about financial equality, all of these things, I suppose we're looking at it from various lenses. But
okay.
What are you expecting to see that's not there?
Okay, for me, looking at the economic, the way it is now and how it was, the raise, the dollar rise and all of that, should I say, people that used to live well on, let's say, a salary of 300,000 last year can't really say that for this year. So there's this imbalance. There's been a shift in that. But now the truth is, if we are waiting for the government, we won't do anything. So now that we and the non-government, that's who we are, what do we do to bring this balance? What do we do to bring this equality? How can we help?
Okay, so it's not from a gender perspective, it's generally. Okay, so I mean, to be honest, it's what we're doing today, right? I believe a lot of people in this room, perhaps a larger majority, are business owners or work in some business with plans, for their own businesses. I think that's what it is, because at the end of the day, you need to generate value to earn value, and that then takes you that then makes you equal. Let's put it that way, or more than equal rather than less than equal at the end of the day. One thing I don't think we do a lot of is influence policy, right? There's quite a lot from a policy perspective that can actually change things, right? I was speaking to someone who's working on something to formalize factoring, for example, in the market, right? Once those kind of things are done, it changes the game, right? There's a lot around device financing. There are no formal structures for device financing, but when you have formal structures that enable credits, it can actually catalyze a lot. So I think there's a lot going on that at least I'm aware of. The rest, I think, is, start a business, right? Be like Dolly. Try and figure out how to raise money. Find these angels. Grow your business, and it would. In growing your business, you hire more people. Those people learn. They leave you. They go set up their own businesses. That's how things work. So the question is, how do we accelerate that?
I think if I want to, I'll answer from an individual perspective and then from a gender perspective as well. As an individual, I think the only way right now is really, like you said, we cannot wait for our leaders now. And then it's more of myself, how can I increase my net worth? So how can I earn more? And again, earning, like you said, you have to create value to get value. So what am I upskilling in myself that can make me live in Naira and earn in other currencies that are palatable to life and destiny, because Naira is not. Right? So yeah, those from an individual perspective is how can I scale myself, right? Apart from my business, I need $1 million in my business. No, how can I earn as an individual, right? And then, like I said, taking it from the business side as well, starting a business. So it's one of the hardest but surest way
From a gender perspective, that I think is also for people like her that have some level of money to keep giving. She says she manages $30 million. We all heard it here. That she have raised money. No, don't. We have your recording. We have your recording, please. Right? And it's one of the reasons my co-founder, one of my best friends in it's okay. We have your recording. Camera is there. We can play back. 30 million. That's what we said. We did. No, I didn't. I understand. When you, it's one of the reasons why my co-founder, one of my best friends, like John, runs First Check as well. It's very similar to women-led businesses as well. I think that from a gender perspective, she said it earlier, we're underrepresented. They don't pay us the same. Life is not even the same. She has 5 children. Nobody, and everybody's asking her how she does it. You know, it's always to her. Nobody's asking her husband. Nobody really cares, right? Which I think a lot of education, and one of the reasons I like that older women also talk to younger women. If you are starting a family, and family can be you, it can be you and your partner. You might not want offsprings, and if offsprings are there, it's also what I've been telling them. It starts from letting your girl know she is not disadvantaged from her brother. It's letting your sister know that you can give her the same thing as you give your brother. It's letting your dad tell you that, oh, don't study this course because don't study medicine because you spent 7 years in school and you've not been married. All of those weird things is also, it's culture and it's shaping culture. We might, if you're like, oh, how does that have to do with money? Because this woman that already thinks she's lesser just because she has boobs. It's nothing else. I'm a woman, I have breasts. That's like you only just think of yourself, I can't do this just because you've been told by multiple structures. Religion is telling you, your family is telling you. You go to places and you're like, oh, we can't hire you because you, I remember, let me not see we can't hire you because of this and that, and also because you're a woman, right? So, well, since they did not give us a table, we might as well bring the damn table. So, it is like, again, individual to gender. I am becoming a better person. I am teaching, and I'm teaching everybody around me, not even men. Everybody's also talking about teaching men, which is good. But there is a lot we need to unlearn as women as well, especially interviews, all manner. She spoke to it about it earlier. You're interviewing for the same role. I remember some of our first hires, when they came in, you know, and this girl and the guy that they worked in the same company, the same position. They come from a bank. So the girl is like, oh, 70K is okay for me, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh, what were you earning before? Around 50K, blah, blah, blah. 70 is fine. And this guy, again, they work in the same place, do the same thing. He came in, I want 250,000. All of us like, you said, okay, how much were you earning before? Around 200. So he lied with his chest very well. I don't support lying. I'm just saying that the level of confidence that we need to, now this is personal motivation because you might not find it outside, right? You might work out and even your parents, unknowingly, it's what they know, you know, they're trying to do the best for you. They all think, you know, once you're a woman and you have a family, you're kind of setting. But we've seen it, right? With a lot of families, women are there's still that innate desire to be somebody more, right? So I think, again, from an individual perspective and from a gender perspective.
Thank you very much. I think we're about to wrap up on this segment of the project or the meeting, seminar, whatever you want to call it. And I think what is important is for us to network and get to know ourselves. I don't know how many of us on LinkedIn, but type in the person sitting next to you, try connect with somebody, follow them. Let's start building that relationship. Your profile matters. We're talking about storytelling and all that. People actually, they love social groups, right? Before they buy from you or do anything, they quickly like, LinkedIn, Instagram, they'll set you up. So if you're not there, you need to build that profile. Some of us want to be incognito. You don't want to show up, but you need to show up as your authentic self, right? So you may be working right now, you think, that might affect my career if I, tell them I'm running a business. Do what works best for you, because I don't want you to put your career in jeopardy. However, you are allowed to have interests, right? You're allowed to have passion. So you can still share things along the line of that business that you're trying to do. Yeah? And start being the voice, a leader in that space. We were sharing, everybody said, you need to build a community. How do you build a community? By being a leader in that space. They're sharing about wellness, by telling people how their life will be better if they connect with you. So let's do that exercise now. Get your phones out, connect with somebody, because if I let you go, you won't do it. So let's do it now. Do it now. Connect with someone. Connect with someone online, Instagram. Okay, no worries. Because we're going to have many people that want to see the dynamic section. Okay. Can we have a representative of VFD come on board to come and tell us what they do? Please make up the welcome. Give her a round of applause. And keep going until she gets here. So she's pumped up to tell us how fantastic VFD is. Hi everyone. Good evening. Hello everyone. Hello. I think we've had such an amazing time. I was just with some of my colleagues. I think we put this coming, so everyone is a bit. Okay, so we've had a great time today. Can we get one house, please? Thank you. Okay, 1 minute, please. So we've had a really great time today, listening to some of the very inspiring women, and we've learned a lot. And I think my MD has sort of said some of the things that we wanted to say already. For us, women remains like one of our core.
One house, please. Please wait. I need to say something. Please, I'm not them to talk, but they gave us money. Thank you very much. Please go ahead. Alright, thank you very much. So, like I was saying that women remain one of the core focus areas for us as a bank. We love women. We understand the need to grow female businesses, right? And I think for the last 2 years, we've sponsored the Women in Tech program, and we've trained over 2,500 women. In different courses like product management, data science, and several other courses like that. Beyond that, we gave some scholarships to some women in Music Business Academy. We gave scholarships to some women to train them as well. So we were particularly very invested in that sector. In terms of debt lending, we've done a couple to structure some deals for women as well. So this is us saying that we're here to support women, support entrepreneurs, support, if you want to grow your career, whatever you want to do, we are your partner bank because that's already a key focus area for us. And we're here, if you have questions. So is it like 2% or something?
We don't discriminate.
Yeah, so I mean, we can always discuss around the interest rates. For us, that support is very important. And just working with you through the process of building your business. So thank you very much. I will let you go back to your panel. much, PFP. You guys are really, you're not just saying it in words, you're expressing your support for women, and for that we are grateful. Thank you so much as you're trying to empower more women, business-wise, and even in tech fields. We need it, and please don't stop. Don't relent in your efforts to help women. So, I think at this point, just want to let you all know that I enjoyed tonight. I thoroughly did, and I don't know about you. And I hope you enjoyed it as well. I've learned a whole lot about Nigeria and the business, and how things work, and even calling good guys instead of PFD. You did it again, yeah. You did it again. Again, the first time, yeah. So I should face the wall. So, but it's been a very, very great evening. For us at Female Tech, we want to be the community. We want to support women. We've been having conversations. In fact, one of my friends, she probably will turn up later tonight. She's been made something, head of philanthropy, whatever, maybe vice president office. They're looking to help hubs, right? So there are things happening. You were not here by accident, neither am I. There's a way, I'm a person of faith anyway, so I do apologize if you have a different faith. I'm a Christian, and I believe that God has a purpose for everything in our lives. Everything, me being here today is God. When the idea, when we sow the seed, for it to manifest like this. So the point is that don't take it for granted. You're not here by accident, and you have a purpose, you have a role to play in this day. And for people that probably just sitting there listening passively, I'm sure we have impacted something in you. So take it away and implement one thing that you've learned from tonight. Whether it's when Buki was speaking, or any of us, or even other people commenting, make sure that that seed, you plant it where it's going to germinate and grow. Whether you're thinking of launching a business, or you want to change your career, whatever it is, take that bold step. So we're going to be having programs like master classes, webinars. We are just scratching the surface. We haven't talked about. Not talked about having a co-founder. A lot of the things I've heard today is about developer and building your tech product. We haven't even opened that. We have not talked about your IP. When you start to speak about your business, am I exposing myself with somebody else steal it? Your ideas. So there's so much for us to still learn, and we cannot do it in a day. I'm sure you agree with me, right? So there will be subsequent meetings, quarterly obviously, because I will decide here, and then we will be communicating to you all what the next steps are. But the first thing first, if you haven't join the WhatsApp group, please do so. You need to use your phone. You've done that. We'll let you in. And if you are on any social media platform, we're everywhere. So connect with us. That's the best place to obviously know about what's going on and where. And last thing is, if you're thinking of building a tech product and it's just an idea, we run a boot camp, like an accelerator program, a 12-week masterclass that will take you from idea to product. So if you have anything like that, you think, I don't know if it's viable, I don't know who needs it, do reach out and we'll see how we can help you here. So I just want to thank this people being here. Toby, please help me give her a round of applause. She's amazing, and I can't thank her enough. I just shared the vision with her, and she ran with it. She just took it away, and I was just my tail behind my back following her. So thank you so much for making it happen. I'm gonna let you. Thank you. Hi everyone. Thank you so much for coming. As Buki said, we had, so when I launched my platform a year ago or two, I can't remember, it's a
conversation. Yeah, we met for the first time today. So we had a conversation about my platform, blah blah blah. That was good. And after that, I think it's sometime last year, I had another conversation with some women in tech because I believe in community. I'm a community type person. I'm not a loner. I've always had communities in whatever I do, whether it's fitness, food, business, career, whatever it is. So I had a conversation with some women in tech last year. Bilikis was on there, Blessing Apek was on there, Adora was on there. Who else did I miss? It was an interesting conversation that we had on LinkedIn and YouTube. And I got so many emails. Oh my God, you guys have given us the courage to start our business. And I was like, I can't even start. I'm not going to start. I have a platform. I want to push my platform. I have my business. I want to push my business. All those emails made me realize that there was a gap. So when he reached out to me, he was like, please do this thing. People want this thing. People need this. I need it. I've had men and women help me. So we need a positive space where people can grow. And it's not about long stories. So personally, I'm not into stories and sub-stories and all that. Let's get the work done. How can you help? Let's move it on. No time for pity parties, no time for gossip, no time for crap. Let's just get the work done and help each other. And once she came, I said, this is an amazing idea, let's do it. And that's why I ran it, because I felt it was an amazing project. So I want to first of all thank VFD, thank you guys. I didn't even know you guys had training men in tech. I just reached out to Benga and said, Benga, I beg, come and support this. And one of the reasons that I reached out to Benga was because when I started TEPS, I went to see Benga and said, I'm doing this thing. And him being a strategy person, he brought out whiteboard and started writing things. And after I realized, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? Benga was talking about, you need to do this, do that. That whole whiteboard was full. That day, he doesn't know, I didn't hear half of it. I was just like, oh my God, what am I doing? I was just like, he was very helpful, very supportive. And thank you so much for believing in this. Many more projects are really great. But thank you very much. Thank you for always supporting and just being a great person. Ibuku, we sent you an email, you had never heard of us. My friend Muidi reached out to you because I've seen you were young, you're a co-founder that is doing the work, and not just, you didn't raise money around South Africa, you're doing the work. So thank you for listening to us and thank you for joining us. Tommy, again, when I reached out to Tommy to help me with something, I wasn't close to her or anything, but Steph's friend, I need help me, and she did. And that's how it's supposed to be. It's not about you being friends. You see someone that needs help and just help the person and keep it moving. No long story. There's no need for, we don't have to start sharing copy the next day. She helped me and we moved on, right? I want to thank Lastra. Bilikis, I think Bilikis is one of the first people that everybody knew in sustainability and tech. We used to see her on all the stages some years ago, hustling recyclers, very seriously, getting grants. And obviously, Lastra doesn't have a direct connection with this event, but because she's a woman in tech, once she hears woman and she hears tech, she's like, don't have money, but we'll help you. And thank you for that. Your people, I wish they were here, registry people, because it's important for all of us to be social and have our lab cards and do things according to the law as much as we can. So please go online and do that. I want to thank our other partners. Guardian Woman, she had to leave, but I definitely need to feature women in tech and make it a big thing at their festival in March. They're very excited about it. I want to thank ASB and AWB. Thank you for supporting us and amplifying women's voices. Herald Place, this is this gorgeous venue. Beautiful, I like vibe. I wanted us to have vibes. Let's not make it too serious, right? And when we got to know about this space, and this is one of the ways they supported, we're very excited. So please come back. Any feedback you have on anything, the food, the ambience, please give it to them. It's a very new space. I think 2 months old. Just 2 months old. So please, they'll be very, very, very happy to have your feedback. Crystal Options, thank you. Glacier Magazine, thank you very much. I hope I haven't forgotten anyone. My team at TEPS, you guys, God bless you. Thank you very much. If you had a seamless registration experience, you got your emails, you got your QR code, you're happy with it, say yeah. Thank you very much. So if you have any big festivals, small events, for small events it's free. I think we have a discount code. events. I think if your event is smaller than 100, you can use the platform for free. If it's bigger, just create your accounts. We have a discount code for this event. But yes, thank you. Please network. Please meet Son. Dolly, I think most of your issues are people. I think you have one or two people on your own. Just community is key for everyone here. Just community is key. Make sure you meet Son. Again, I think sometimes women we miss it. We don't need to be best friends. We don't need to be close. I don't need to know about your husband and your children. Let's discuss why we're here and keep it moving. I think it's very important that women do that because I think they get distracted. Let's focus on the focus. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And enjoy your dinner. I know female sex are listening. You're event now. Why you like it? But thank you Cookie for what you're doing. Please, the work starts now. It's not by fine food and fine people. We need you to go Bookie. Now Bookie, I knew her in Ife. Great Ife. I knew Bookie in Ife. I knew her when she stopped doing events. She started passing events my way. So thank you for leaving. And she's just always been there. When I saw your discussion, I was like, this woman, wow, I didn't have time to see. It's worthy of mention. Thank you. Always awesome to connect. I didn't know you guys were connected in any way. When she was saying, oh, my stylist is going to speak, I said, send me her profile. She said, send me her name. I said, send me her profile. And I said, well, she said, I know her now. It was too funny. It was so funny. I was like, I know her now, of course. So yes, thank you all very much. Please connect. Tag us in your pictures. Post anything. We'll have some interviews after. So please, anything about this event or about your journey, please let's record it. Booking, the work starts now. Grant writing, resources, connecting people, the consultants, teachers. Let's make this a massive thing. Let's be a massive movement. Thank you all very, very much. Enjoy!
As well.
We're just having, which is why community and hanging out is good. We're actually just hanging out, and I told her about this event, and she told me about all the good work she does in New York, Tech for Justice, a research scientist at IBM, and I'm like, please come and moderate this session. And she was like, I'll be happy to. If we're not hanging out that day, I would not have known that much about her. She would not have been such a huge value add to this event. So please can we all thank Amina? Thank you so much. I should take it for you. Great event! Great! For her mom. So yeah, thank you all very much.
Governance is still there.
Please give it up for all our speakers. Tommy Balogun. And Ibukun. Please, have a picture. And Benga, thank you so much. Thank